Today I'm going to be walking you through my new Stella Pro reflex lighting kit, both for here at the studio as well as my on-location kit.
Keep waving. It's good stuff, man.
It's about 5 minutes before this video is going online, and I thought that I would let you know that I have just finished a new article over on the members website. Traditionally, I would say you want to get into the wedding photography industry. A business plan is really not the most important thing. A lot of articles you'll read on the internet are like, you need to make a business plan. I don't agree with that, but I have made a new, what I'm going to call kind of a business plan for 2022 if you are a wedding photographer. So head on over there and check it out if you're a member. If you're not a member, there's lots of stuff over there. I'm not even going to go into it right now. Onto the video. Today, we're here in the studio. We tried to do a dramatic reveal of the paper roll, but if you saw the Sony video, it didn't really exactly go as planned. So here we are in the variable clouds, where it's definitely a different white balance than when I began speaking. And that is why you need continuous lighting. We're getting ahead of ourselves though. Inside this bag is actually 4 lights, all incredibly powerful studio lights. I also brought my camera and the wireless controller and my mic all in this bag. And that really speaks to the portability of this entire kit. Not only the studio kit where you can go on location if you want, but also my, I guess, on location kit, and also my on location modifiers are here as well. See, it's getting brighter and darker. If we had continuous lighting, this would not be a struggle, that we would have just been able to show up today, turn them on, and begin recording. This is kind of what we use. So this is, I've basically just stolen the kit that we used for a video that will be on the channel soon with Scott Robert Lim in Los Angeles, California. And they showed me a product. This isn't yet into the actual lighting yet, but look at this umbrella. It's a shoot-through umbrella, but look at how compact it is. That fits in anything. As a wedding photographer, I want as small of kit as possible, and the reason that I don't do a lot of off-camera light on wedding days is because you usually have to almost bring an entire second human being with you. The kit that I've stolen directly from Scott Robert Lim is this little shoot-through here, right? It's kind of all you need. And I'll put a link to this in the description. And basically what an umbrella like this or any modifier does is it takes a smaller light and makes it a little bit bigger, a little bit softer, which is something that is very important if you are a wedding photographer or a portrait photographer. You gotta get that soft light. This is the most compact and easy way to build that soft light. Also, you could just get one of the regular umbrellas, not one of the ones that additionally compacts. They fit easily to your backpack as well. And eventually these all go together, but I'm gonna show you that in a few minutes. Inside the bag is a lot louder than I expected. In here, this is the Stella Pro reflex light, and this here is the battery. It's kind of a battery grip. It's honestly kind of nice. And as you can see, a little hole here for my shoot-through umbrella. And as a handheld thing, so you don't even need the monopod. You can have the monopod if you want that extra reach. You want to put the light somewhere where it would maybe appear more natural. You can definitely use that, but a lot of the time, it's just going to be this with an umbrella. Have somebody point it, I can point it myself, and really just kind of make any scene that you walk into. I guess a big problem for us as wedding photographers, you usually walk into a scene that you don't really have control over. There's no set deck. No one's come in and really made the place exactly what you want it to be. And sometimes where the good light is, you're not able to photograph in that direction because of too much going on in the background. With a system like this, all of a sudden you've unlocked all of the room, that now you can shoot natural light, you can go in and if natural light's working, awesome. If not, you can quickly overpower it and you can get the shots that you need. I also feel like in a getting ready environment, strobe and flash is kind of really intense, whereas a video light, you come in, you can even just bounce it kind of off the corner, off the ceiling here, and you light the room up that way, you're a lot less obtrusive to the scene. And you turn it on, isn't that nice? And you're ready to go. There's one button. This essentially, so it both, maybe as more of a product introduction here, this is a continuous light that is also a strobe. So you can be just regular video light. If that's gonna work in the scene, awesome. If you need to go strobe, or if it's just a better solution to go strobe, you can do that. You can do bursts at 20 frames a second. To give you a quick demo of how this actually functions as strobes, we have a simple Godox X Pro controller here. And as you can see, triggering the lights. That's it. It's pretty simple. This is set to channel 1. These are set to channel 1. This is set to group A. These are set to group A. You can do A, B, C, D, whatever you want. You can do them all. 20 frames a second. And if they're plugged in, I guess you go unlimited. If you're on a battery, you get 10,000 full pops of the full power. So wild, right? So the shoot that we did with Scott Robert Lim, he got back and he told me his battery was still at 70%. And he had been running it as a video light for the entirety of the shoot. So yes, a really incredible battery. Here we go. Turning the light on. How's that? Turn the light on, it begins at 100 lumens. And if you are on the battery, it will go all the way up to 6,000 lumens. So as you can see, the light in here, it's good enough to shoot in for sure. But all of a sudden you add this as a bounce and things get a heck of a lot better. So you walk into, they're doing hair and makeup here, they're doing whatever here. There you go. This isn't really that obtrusive. Yes, it's a light. Makeup artists honestly will probably appreciate the additional daylight, also daylight balanced, if you're wondering. That is how I'm going to be using this light a lot of the time. Also, if you are in a portrait setting and you're like, hey, I really want to do a photo in this corner, maybe something more exciting is going on, you can kind of play around with it, that you can see where the light is best going to hit your subject. Maybe that's bouncing off the ceiling, maybe that's off the wall, wherever it might be, you now have the control to do that. Whereas with off-camera strobe only, that's a lot of trial and error. You're doing lots of test pops and usually your subject has to be in there. With something like this, you can honestly, like a good way to scout a scene, if you have a cell phone, how do I light this scene? Maybe something like that. Right about there is nice, right? There we go. Hey, Tim.
Hey, buddy.
So you can kind of scout on yourself by just doing a quick little selfie cam. Again, kind of that run and gun style environment where you're not setting up a set for somebody to walk into. You are walking into a scene where you have little to no control over it. And then not only, again, I said it was a video light, but it's also a strobe light as well. That if you do walk into a scene and you do not want that video light, you want it to be off until it activates and you want the strobe, it actually does double the intensity. So what you saw there, it will actually do twice as intense through strobe and 20 frames a second for 10,000 frames, which you'll probably know. I hope you never need that. And also we haven't even talked about that. When you plug it in, it gets even more intense. I'm gonna put the stats on the screen here because I haven't yet plugged it in and these just arrived in the studio today. And I did an unboxing video in LA that I never ended up using. So on location kit, plug that in. There you go. How's that? Look at that. So now all of a sudden, you got this up on a stand. This is hard to demonstrate on, I'll demonstrate on Tim. There you go. You're very well lit right now. Tim's gonna grab the handle. So Tim is both running video and also lighting me simultaneously. Wow, right? So yeah, on location lighting kit. If you do have a monopod that's smaller, let me know because I would love to have one half the size. I don't really need the full extension. I need something maybe around like 3 or 4 feet total just to get the light up to a spot where it looks a little bit more like natural light. I walk into any scene. I don't want to make it look straight up like it's just being lit by artificial light. What I want to do is I want to integrate it. I want to bounce it off something, make it look like it's just a naturally lit scene. So on location kit, very, very small. Let me know if you find a smaller monopod. So now the rest of the scene is going to be lit. Essentially, like if I was walking into a scene that I didn't really have full control over, this might be a way that I would do it. I just put that on, probably find something above eye level just so nobody's actually looking directly into the light. But it is going to introduce a good quality of light into the scene and make things a little bit brighter, a little bit more directional if that's what you're after, and then also give a nice little catch light in everyone's eyes. In the bag, something that's even more exciting, well, I guess it's only more exciting. If you came for the on-location kit, that was the exciting part. Our studio kit here in the studio is also a collection of Stella Pro reflex lights. And you might be like, how did our entire studio kit and also my on-location kit and also the camera and also all of our audio fit into here? It's because everything's really compact. It's very portable, very easy to travel with. The company that makes these actually came from underwater, so they came from the scuba diving sector of the world. So when you're scuba diving, you're going out to Indonesia, wherever you might be, you don't really want to be bringing a huge lighting kit. When you go down in the water, you don't really want it. So that's why everything has been really designed to be super compact, and also the modifiers as well that we're going to talk about in a moment. Modifier would fit in here, but I didn't feel confident just cramming it in, but I think it would. Starting in this hand, we have a Stella Reflex Pro S. And then over in this hand, we have a Stella Reflex Pro S. And then the last one here is a Stella, you guessed it, Reflex Pro S. And there's 3 of them, and they're all the same. On the front here, you can get a variety of adapters, so whatever you're looking for. You could do something like just this kind of this diffusion cup here. Or if you're looking for a spot, there's actually a spot. I think it's in here somewhere too. So they're labeled on the side. This is the medium wide. This is the spot. So if you're looking for spotlight style effect, there you go. So buy the accessories that you think you'll be needing the most. For me, I would say generally, I just need kind of the wide that I'm gonna be using it with the modifier, I'm gonna be using it as bounce, and I feel like that's the most versatile for me. But if you're in the studio, you need a spot, you need something even more wide, you need a little diffusion cup. There's lots of options for you. So these lights are the exact same as my on-location kit. What you don't see is the battery grip. You can get the battery grip if you want. You can have a bunch of them if you want to bring your full studio kit out into the world. What we're actually going to be doing here, since we have lots of power outlets, we're going to be plugging them into the wall. And with that, you actually unlock even more flexibility. And in a studio environment, it is nice to have that additional versatility. So let's set it up. Do we light me? Do we light the cactus? Tim says we light the cactus. We've decided that the cactus is too large and too delicate to actually place in the stool. So we're going to be using this beautiful succulent instead. This is from our engagement party several years ago. It's been repotted, and now it's here. You can definitely tell that they came from an underwater scuba diving background with the fact that this seal, I assume, is watertight. Don't go underwater with these, but I would trust this cable to go underwater. Here we go, 100 lumens. And as you can see, as I crank it up, if I was on the battery pack, this would stop at 6,000 lumens, which is right about there, which is way more than bright enough. But because we're plugged into the wall, we can go all the way up here, right? 9,000 lumens. Obviously way too bright for this. We'll talk about that in a moment. Setup. You might be like, one, this is an incorrect lighting scenario, and two, that maybe it's a little bit too direct. It works okay, but it's definitely kind of direct light. If you're photographing a human being and not a tiny succulent, maybe your light needs to be even more soft. A quick way to get softer light, just bounce it off of larger things. So as you can see, the light right now, a heck of a lot better than it just was. Way too, little too crispy when you're that close to your light sources. Now all of a sudden, these lights are going up, they're illuminating, what, like 8, 10 feet of ceiling? You kind of got like an 8-foot softbox. So I assume I look pretty good, right? Succulent looks great. Tim says it's not about me today, that it's about the succulent. Lighting scenario number 1, direct. I'm gonna give that, what, a 2? 2.3, Tim nods at a 2.3. This scene, what are we calling this? Maybe like a 7.5, 8?
7.8.
7.8. It would definitely do in a lot of situations. If I was doing a portrait setting, maybe it's a bit weird to light things in this environment. Usually people understand that you're the professional, even if you are doing things a little bit weird. What I would recommend though, is actually getting modifiers. And the modifiers that have been developed for the Stella Pro reflex lights are actually quite incredible. And again, going back to the fact that everything is so small and portable, this is their Octabox. It's Chimera Octabox, and what do we call it? Octa Beauty. It's an Octa Beauty. It's underwater themed, again, Octa Beauty. I like it. And the octopus has emerged. So here it is, the Octa Beauty. Chimera. Turn it on, boom. Look at that. Now, all of a sudden, you can get some really nice and soft light from a very close direct source. This is helpful if you are outside in the world and you're trying to light somebody in broad daylight. You're gonna wanna get that light, thank you, Tim. You're gonna wanna get that light as close to the person as possible. And if you're just using the bare LED bulb, as you get closer here, it's gonna get way too harsh. So something like this is the way to go. Who looks better? Vote in the comments, the succulent or me. It's okay if the succulent wins. And there we go. Our new lighting kit, completely dependent on how you light things. I would say I typically use 2 lights. Maybe that's a bit weird. 2 lights and a bounce or a window light as a main, and then come in with something like this over the shoulder to add that 3-dimensional look. However you do things, this will help you get there. That's all. I feel like I stepped out of the light. That's all from the studio today. You're obviously going to be seeing these lights in a lot more videos over the next little bit, including one with Scott Robert Lim in Santa Monica, and then another one with Scott Robert Lim in Santa Monica, and then another one with Scott Robert Lim in Santa Monica. And then we'll probably do something here. But until then, please enjoy Scott Robert Lim. Tim walked into the chair. Another thing to mention, these won't overheat like a flash usually would because there's a big fan in here. And that's a fact that I should have talked about much earlier.